The challenge, I think, for many brands now is to stand out in what we describe as that sea of same. Everyone's doing something quite similar to engage their customers. What we're seeing is less of the traditional points means prizes. So it's less about saving, and then spend.
Welcome to Loyalty Stories, Antavo's podcast on customer loyalty and loyalty programs. I'm Charlie Hawker, Partner Manager for UKI, Benelux and Nordics. Antavo is a technology vendor that powers loyalty programs all over the world. We help various great businesses such as KFC, Benefit Cosmetics, as well as other global automotive, fashion companies and other amazing verticals. In this podcast, Loyalty Stories, we dive into the trends around customer loyalty and loyalty programs. We talk with industry experts around the world to pick their brain to learn what's next for loyalty. Today's guest is Dean Lanzman. Hi, Dean.
Hello.
First of all, could you briefly introduce yourself and your company to the audience?
Sure. So, hi, I'm Dean Lanzman. My focus is to help our brands unlock the value of their data to create more meaningful customer experiences and ultimately more value back to the business.
Fantastic. So we're going to start with just some questions, and I know that you've had a sneak peek at a couple of these, but if we could start with, what's your favorite loyalty program and why?
I thought long and hard about this one. You often asked about, your favorite loyalty program, your favorite email program, and ultimately it comes down to the one that you actually use the most. I think it's as simple as that. So I'm a particular fan of the Nando's loyalty program. So if anyone doesn't know, Nando's is described as a Portuguese flame grilled chicken restaurant. Very tasty food. You collect little chilies on a digital card every time you visit, and the more times you visit, the more free chicken you get. It's super simple. And what it does quite cleverly is it creates like mini goals. So you get 3 chilies after 3 times you visit, and you get a little bit of chicken, and you get 3 more chilies, and you get an entire meal. So you sort of get those little moments of achievement through completing that task. That makes it quite quite fun, quite addictive, if you like. You want to keep going through those chilies, and ultimately it means that I keep spending my money at Nando's.
Yeah, I am also a chili collector for Nando's, and it's interesting when you get to say the half chicken, do you cash it in, or do you go, no, I want a full chicken?
That's right. So you've got the gamification in there, and they've kept pretty sort of true to it. I don't think they've changed it too much over the years. And there's probably something to be said with that. When you get it right, just keep plugging away. But it's simple and it's fun, and with all that choice out there, it's they're obviously doing something right with the type of mechanic that they have.
I think it's interesting that the staff always say how many chilies you've got as well.
Right,
so they have a view of your attainment and your loyalty, I guess, to Nando's.
They're accessing the data, and in real time, that's always a positive thing.
Yeah. Great. No, that's a good one. Yeah. And yeah, as I said, I'm a chili collector as well. So bring it more back to yourself now and the work that you've done. What is some of the work that you're most proud of? You can name the client, you can name the business if you want, or you can talk more generally if easier.
Sure. So I wanted to pick a loyalty program partner, but I thought, if I'm being really honest, I'm going to answer the question in that way. I'm going to pick another account, but it has some similarities, and that's for the NHS. So there's something like 50,000 nurses that need to go into the UK system. So it's not a loyalty program, but it is a data-driven cross-channel program that cuts through from TV to website to CRM. So the program is designed in a very similar way to a loyalty program. So we collect data around individuals, their particular concerns and their questions and their motivations to join the NHS and barriers that they may have. We collect all of that data at an individual level, and then we convert that into what we hope to be very highly meaningful content that over a period of time aims to help them choose a career in nursing or another role at the NHS. So hopefully, the work that we're doing is making a big impact for the quality of healthcare in the UK. So, it's hard to find a sort of a prouder case study.
No, absolutely, and it's one that definitely everyone at some point will have a touch point with the NHS, and you never know, they might have come through some of your communications way down the line, right? And that's a fantastic thing to be proud of.
I think so. I hope so. And also, perhaps, given that the conversation is around loyalty, I think the jobs that we're doing are the same. We are using data to build relevant content that drives engagement and action. So I think that, and you could even argue the merits of calling a loyalty program versus, many people call them membership programs or, engagement programs or, other such thing, So, the idea of connecting data with content that drives engagement and action, I think, is ultimately the end goal.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, loyalty might be the wrong slight semantic twist on it. But I definitely think that, there's a huge similarities and crossovers there for sure. So bringing it back to loyalty in the next question. So what do you think? What are the big changes in the loyalty industry in recent years?
Probably more than have been in years before, because I think that we see, as consumers, we see more loyalty programs, more brands, certainly they're delivering through social and other kind of like emerging channels, if you like, for customer engagement, more loyalty programs, which is great in some way for customers, gives them more choice. But ultimately, it can be harder for brands to engage and build loyalty when there's all that competition.
Yeah.
So, the challenge, I think, for many brands now is to stand out in what we describe as that sea of same. Everyone's doing something quite similar to engage their customers. And often brands can result to more price-focused benefits rather than, more discounting offers rather than real customer benefits. And so finding ways to be able to compete in that quite price-sensitive market, I think becomes a key challenge.
Yeah, I think just to build on that and kind of resonate with something that I used to work on. I worked when I was at the marketing agency side. We worked on a milk brand, and they called it the white wall, because when you go in a supermarket, it's all you see is just this white wall. Like, what differentiates one milk from another, other than brand loyalty or price and these sorts of things? So it is really hard, and that's kind of, as you said, similar things happened in the loyalty space.
Absolutely. And then, like I say, there's more choice than if you pick any category, men's kind of, healthcare, beauty, or whatever it might be. You've only got to go on to your socials, and there's a new brand that's popping up, and they've kind of gone from brand creation to, product development and an execution within 6 months, versus a Unilever that might have taken 5 years.
Yeah.
So there's just so much more choice, and they may well even have a loyalty program, or certainly some sort of benefits orientated program. And so you're competing with just so many more brands. You've got to be able to stand out in a way that adds value to your brand in the main and doesn't devalue through another discount code.
Yeah, no, yeah, totally. So if we take that as kind of what's happened and what's happening right now up to the present day, if we look into next year, a couple of years beyond that, and we think about trends that are coming down the track, what are the main two that you're kind of excited to see come down or expecting?
When you ask me for two's always harder than one, so I'll try my best. So I think the first one is about what we're seeing is less of the traditional points means prizes. So it's less about saving, and then spend, which is sort of the classic kind of earn to burn loyalty mechanic.
Sure.
In exchange for access to benefits. We see that all around us, don't we? All, whether it's Amazon Prime or whoever you want to pick, that's become, I think, the gold standard, or not even necessarily the gold standard now. It's like that is what it's got to be. In the name, I want to have access to stuff in return for my loyalty, and I'll keep getting that for as long as I'm loyal in some fashion. So I think that's a key trend that I don't think is going to go away. The other sort of I think development is around unique propositions. So it's kind of within the fold of benefits, but it's giving your customers something which is genuinely unique and not just another discount for a high street restaurant chain or whatever it might be, right? A good example of that is the work. So we work with the Co-op, and we do all of their digital marketing effectively. And Co-op have announced the launch of what they describe as Co-op Live, which is the UK's largest indoor arena in Manchester, coming to you next year. And the way that works is that if you are a member of Co-op, you get priority access and benefits, similar to, the likes of O2, if you like. But we've got, massive, biggest indoor arena in Manchester. And that allows us to be able to offer our customers all sorts of extra benefits for being loyal or a member of Co-op. And it's that type of proposition which you simply cannot get anywhere else, that I think is going to be the type of benefits that other brands need to offer. Now, of course, not everyone will be able to build indoor arenas, but other, thinking more laterally, more creatively around what can we offer our customer that is genuinely unique and is hard or tough for anyone else to offer quite in the same way that our customers would love, would want. That's where I think the value is going to sort of start to shift towards.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. Yeah, I used to work at the Co-op when I was at school, so I'll be checking if I've still got any kind of affiliation.
Well, if you remember, you pay your £1, you become a Co-op member, and it gives you access to some lots of benefits. And this is the new thing, and also it kind of it introduces a new market, younger audiences, and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, no, it's great. And so to build on those kind of couple of trends you mentioned, I forced you to name two. How do you think they will evolve? So you did go quite heavily in on the uniqueness there, and probably that's where the value comes in. Could you elaborate a little bit more?
Sure. So I think that gone are the days whereby you can have one program in the main and keep it running as it is and not adjusting based on market conditions and changing consumer demands. Nando's is a good example. I was thinking to myself, well, maybe they're doing so well that they don't need to. But in the main, you've got to be able to have the agility to move or pivot quickly based on market conditions. And, whether that's building new test and learn propositions, testing out new mechanics, seeing what works, build on that. I think that's sort of a must for brands as they enter into or have been in, have had loyalty programs and perhaps are seeing signs of less value. If you pick a lot of the great ones out there, you've seen how they've pivoted and moved. Tesco Club Card's probably a really good recent example whereby, introducing the type of new deals that only their customers can get and discounts on price partner deals on mobiles and all that type of stuff. They're continually adjusting and pivoting and reacting to their customers and what their customers want. So you've got to be able to have the agility and recognize the need to do that.
Yeah, and I think that really captures kind of the last 5-6 years of what's happened in the world as well. So You think back to like things with marketing like GDPR, cookie deprecation. Then you get COVID and everyone has to go online. Every e-commerce booms. There's lots of pivoting, so they're pre-receptive to being more agile now, which is fantastic. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out in the next few years. And then our final question. What about when it comes to loyalty tech vendors? So what are the main features that you would expect, or how would they best support these trends?
Yeah, well, I think it's a response to what I've just said. I think you got to, as the tech has to give you that flexibility to adjust beyond classic points mechanics, so whether you want points or don't want points, whether you want to provide immediate access to a series of benefits, whether you want to have tiers, all these kind of choices that you need to make as someone who enters into a loyalty program, you've got to be able to have that flexibility, and as part of that, you want to be able to have the agility to change based on customer and consumer demands. So you want to be able to have that easy flexibility to adjust and change the mechanics to be able to suit those changing consumer demands. And then lastly, I think it's really important, particularly sort of around the proliferation of retailers that can now offer this. You want to be able to reduce the barriers to entry, so making it more affordable for smaller brands to enter, which I think will be great. It's great for everyone because there's an emergence of all the variety of new brands that you can now access through social and all this kind of stuff. Being able to offer those kind of capabilities to smaller brands that wouldn't otherwise be able to enter it because of traditional financial barriers to enter. If you can offer that, then more choice for customers, everyone wins.
Brilliant. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think, you've spoken very eloquently there around kind of there being more choice. The smaller players, they've got a place to play. Let them have all the tools to their disposal as well. That's really, really good. Yeah, thank you very much.
Right.
Yeah, well, that's a wrap. Thank you very much, Dean, for being here. I really enjoyed the conversation today.
Thank you.
I think my favorite bit is a toss up between breaking through uniqueness and how do brands do that. I think that's a really interesting challenge for agencies like yourself to really demonstrate, and for brands as a great problem to have. But also around Nando's, I think is certainly one of my favorite ones. I've still got the old card. They still keep dangling that black Nando's card that everyone wants. Free Nando's for life.
Unless you're registered, I'm not sure you're getting one.
Yeah, I know. Not yet. So wherever you're listening to us, be it podcast platform, YouTube, LinkedIn, please like and subscribe to our channel. That way you'll get notifications of the next episodes, etc. And please visit Antavo.com to discover your next loyalty software. Antavo is a next-gen loyalty program technology vendor used by global companies like KFC, Benefit Cosmetics, and other big automotive, fashion companies, and all other verticals. Also, please feel free to reach out to Dean. And thank you very much for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Thanks, everyone. Bye.